Namaste, good morning, friends. So we continue to into our understanding of the preliminary things in our tax laws before going for the first chapter. Before going for the first chapter, friends, on an overall scale, we are starting to understand the fundamental aspects in that I am in the crucial aspect of concept of previous year versus assessment year. The income earning year is known as the previous year, and I told you previous year need not be 12 months because I start earning the income from mid of the year. I will not go till the year in which I from the start to complete. 31st March is the cut-off date. Okay, whereas assessment year will always be a period of 12 months because the year that succeeds is known as the assessment year. Suppose a person gets a lottery income on 1st October 2019. A person gets a lottery income on 1st October 2019 that falls in the previous year 1920, 1st October 19 to 31st March 20 only. Okay, similarly, a person gets employment from 1st November 2019. His year ends on 31st March 2020, and still we call it as a year because it's a concept. Okay, so previous year and the year that succeeds is known as the assessment year. The year that succeeds is known as the assessment year. What is assessment? A officer of the income tax department verifies whether you have declared your income properly and paid your tax properly. Assessment means just at this level understand checking whether you have properly disclosed your income and properly paid your taxes, and we all know that can happen only after the year is over. So only after 31st March 2020 that work can start. Okay, so assessment year will be 2024, 21, 1 4 2020 to 31st March 2021. PYAY as the concept. Okay, always income of the previous year will be assessed in the subsequent year, that is always income of one financial year will be assessed in the next year. Okay, always income of one financial year will be assessed in the next year, which is popularly known as assessment year. But as I told you, only if the year is getting over, only if the year is getting over, they will know what is the income earned by a person. So unless that is done, you cannot. So always income of the previous year will be assessed in the subsequent year, that is known as the assessment year. Whenever there is a rule like this, there will also be exceptions to that rule. Whenever there is a rule like this, there will always be exceptions to that rule also. Okay, However, in the following cases, in some cases, I will not wait for the year to get over. However, in the following cases, the assessing officer, that is the income tax officer, will not wait for the year to get over. Will not wait for the year to get over. He will then and there tax it. He will then and there tax it. However, in the following circumstances, income of the year will be assessed in the same year. Will be assessed in the same year. In other words, previous year and assessment year will be the same. I will not wait for the year to get over. I will assess it. I will tax it then and there. Okay, right? Before going into the cases, one of the cases where your example, where you can easily understand. Let us take that an individual got employment. Let us take an individual got employment in Singapore and he is going to leave India on 1st December 2019. Let us understand that an individual got employment and is going to leave India on 1st December 2019. From 1st April 2019 to 31st October 2019, he has earned income in India. We all understand from 1st April 2019 to 31st October 2019, that person has earned income in India. He has earned income in India. You understand, right? He has earned income in India. Can I, that is the income tax law, allow that person now to go and tell him, boss, your year anyhow ends on 31st March 2020 only. After that, come back, pay your taxes. Will he pay? Is there a risk I will lose the revenue? Okay, you understand, right? There is a risk that that person, because he got his employment outside India, there is a risk that that person might not come back and pay me the taxes. In such circumstances, the income tax officer will not wait for the year to get over. Please understand. In such circumstances, the income tax officer will not wait for the year to get over. He will tax then and there. He will tax in the same year in which the income has been earned. He will tax in the same year in which the income has been earned. So we call it as PY and AY. It is not PY first, AY second. AY comes and merges with PY. It is in the same year. They will say, pay the tax and leave the country. Pay the tax and leave the country. So there are circumstances where normally first PY followed that by that AY. But there are circumstances where AY and PY will be the same, or AY comes and merges with the previous year. Section 172, non-resident shipping business. Section 172, non-resident shipping business. That's where the exception starts. My dear friends, one example. Let us take for the Vizag port, one of India's largest ports, Visakhapatnam. Okay, to the Vizag port, a ship belonging to a non-resident. Non-resident, as of now, understand foreigner. A ship belonging to the foreigner or foreign company comes there. Understand the case? A ship belonging to a foreign person comes to Indian port. From the Indian port, it takes goods and passengers. It carries goods and passengers from the Indian port and is about to leave India. About to leave India means that they are going to take the ship and go, that the ship is going to start its voyage. Now, has the ship earned income from India? Has income been earned from India? The answer is yes, because it has carried goods and passengers from India. It has carried goods and passengers from India, so the ship is definitely has earned income from India. Now, if I leave the ship to go, imagine a circumstance, I leave the ship to go, what happens is a bigger question, that what if his tax is not paid by the person who earned, that is the foreigner? Neither the ship will be under my control because it has already started its voyage, nor the person is under my control because he is a foreigner. So what the assessing officer, the income tax officer will say is, pay the tax, take the ship. He will say that this income, this ship has earned income from India. They will instruct the customs department to allow the ship to go outside, to allow the ship to start from our Indian harbors, Indian ports, only if the taxes that are due are paid. Otherwise, it will not be. Non-resident shipping business, where friends, okay, for this purpose, income shall be 7.5% of gross receipts. Okay, where a ship belonging to a non-resident visits any of the Indian ports, earns income, then assessing officer shall allow the ship to leave only if taxes due are paid. We call it as entry outward. Entry inward, coming into India. Entry outward, leaving the Indian waters. That can only happen if the due taxes are paid. And how will I compute the income? 7.5% of gross receipts. The example I gave you also. This is the example I gave you also. Okay. Where assessing officer is aware that an individual is leaving India for the purpose of employment and is permanently going to settle outside India, then income till the date of his leaving, till the date of departure will be computed and subjected to tax in the same year. Pay the tax, then leave the country. Okay, and subjected to tax in the same year. Section 174A, dissolution of AOP or BOI. Section 174A, dissolution of AOP or BOI.
1 minute.
Yeah, yeah, I'll wait. Please take them. Dissolution of AOP or BOI. What is AOP or BOI? What is AOP? Basically, AOP. What is AOP?
Association of
Association
person.
of person.
Good. Expand AOP. அதுக்கு தான் அது ஆன்சர். என்னடா ராஜா? What is AOP? I'm not asking expand AOP. I know you know that answer. What is an AOP, Raja? What did I tell you was an AOP?
So like partnership form,
Did I say so?
not like that, sir.
Uh,
Person coming together for business
yeah,
activity.
yeah, yeah. What did I say AOP as? Anyone?
Person.
No, I know it's a person.
It's a voluntary association.
Okay, okay, fine. Not an issue. Now we will again get back. AOP are typically joint ventures. AOP are typically joint ventures. An architect, an interior designer, okay, a builder, a planner, a marketer, all come together for construction of a mall. As soon as the construction is over, they are going to dissolve. As soon as the construction is over, the entity is going to go off. It's all over. The purpose of their coming together is over, and no more they are going to be doing any activity. So let us take that the mall gets completed on 10th November 2019, and they are going to go off. They are going to dissolve the entity and go off. Can the assessing officer wait till 31st March? And according to our income tax law, previous year ends only on 31st March 2020. So I will wait, sir. After that, they will come and pay the tax. Who? The entity itself is not there. Who will come and pay the tax? So the law says, when you are aware that the purpose for which an entity is formed is over and the entity is going to dissolve, then compute the income and the tax till the date of dissolution and subject it to tax immediately. Do not wait for the year to get over, boss, you will lose the revenue. You will lose the revenue. Subject it to tax immediately. Where AO stands for assessing officer, okay? Section 175, persons selling of asset. Okay, I will take you one step ahead now. Suppose you are liable to pay tax. Please understand the case. You are liable to pay tax. You have not paid. I, the assessing officer or the income tax department, continuously send you notices. Continuously send you notices. You get the notice and put it in the draw. You are not at all responding to the notice also. And you are not paying taxes. The department is demanding, but you are not at all paying taxes. So what is the option now department has, the income tax department has to collect from taxes? Come and take over your assets. Please understand, the department can come and take over your asset for the tax that is due by you. Knowing that income tax department will come and take over your asset, you are trying to sell off the assets. Knowing that the income tax department will come and take over your asset, you are now trying to sell off your assets. Well, selling is a constitutional right. I cannot say that you should not sell your asset. That is your constitutional right. What I can say is pay the tax and sell the asset. That is including the income you get from sale of assets. Including the income. You are selling the asset only during mid of the year. In normal circumstances, you can pay the tax later. That is after the year is over, you can pay the tax. No doubt about it. You have that option. But in this extraordinary cases where I am aware you are trying to sell off asset with the intention of avoiding payment of taxes. You are trying to sell off the asset with the intention of avoiding payment of taxes. I will not wait for the year to get over. I will then and there tax you. I will say pay the tax, then go for the transaction. Pay the tax including for the sale of asset. Then only you are liable to go for the transaction. The last section in this is section 176. Somebody is discontinuing the business during the year is in progress. Somebody is discontinuing the business when the year is in progress. Okay, discontinuance of business. Discontinuance of business, which means that I am stopping to do business when the year is progressing. In such circumstances, how does our system work? Discontinuance of business. The AO is aware that a person discontinued to do business, then he may compute the income till the date of his discontinuance, that is closure, and compute the tax on such income in the same year in which it is earned. In the same year in which it is earned.
So,
Go ahead with your question.
in section 175, they're charging tax till the date of income, till the date of sale, and the sale proceeds which he is going to get out of the.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Which means including the income arising from sale. Where AO is aware that a person discontinues to business, he may opt to compute the income till the date of closure and compute the tax on such income in the same year in which it is earned. The beauty of this section is it uses the word may. It uses the word, take a highlighter, highlight that word may. Okay, which means it is optional. AO may do it or he can wait for the year. Anyhow, the person is right in front of you. And many of the time, this discontinuance is because of loss. Okay, so he ever may think, why should I waste time on this? Anyhow, he is going to be there. He can business only discontinued. The person is continuing, so anytime he can pay the tax. So I can. The question is that in this case, it is only optional. So if you write a note, section 176 is only optional. Our answer will stand in a better pedestal. Okay, provided the examiner also knows the word may means optional. Okay, right. So so my dear friends, 5 exceptions to the rule of PY and AY. Normally, previous year and assessment year will be two different years. First previous year, next followed by that assessment year. In some cases, PY and AY will merge. 5 cases, that is AY, okay, income need not be written. Okay, 5 different cases. Okay, non-resident shipping business, persons leaving India for the purpose of employment. Okay, discontinuance of AOP, dissolution of AOP BOI, persons trying to sell off assets with the intention of avoiding payment of tax, and discontinuance of business. In this case, PY and AY can be one and the same. It need not be a subsequent year.
Yes.
Sir,
I'm taking your question.
income shall be 7.5% of gross receipts. என்ன sir இது?
இப்போ passenger, per passenger you have charged 1 lakh, and there are, let us take 100 passengers. There are 100 passengers. Do you think the entire amount is an income? It is only receipt. There are lot of expenditure. Income is income, the revenue minus expenditure, or receipt minus expenditure. Expenditure, when you will know, only if the ship has completed the travel, you will know. Only if the ship has completed the travel, you know what is the expenditure. But you are not even allowing it to start. Where is the question of computing? So here I need to compute it on a assumption basis. So the law says I will take 7.5% of gross receipts. On this, into 7.5% will be treated as income.
Okay, sir.
Sir,
Go ahead.
so why is the selling of asset? You think that he will do only to avoid tax?
No, I am not saying that they will do only to avoid tax. If at all they are doing to avoid tax, I did not say all persons selling asset should pay the tax and then only sell. No, I didn't say so. Only those persons who are having a very big demand from the income tax department, and knowing that the department are going to come hold and catch hold, their intention might be to sell it to avoid payment of tax. Not all people.
So even though he sells that, he'll have some other asset, no, sir. So income tax can take.
Well, that option, let us give it to the assessing officer. No, we
Okay.
don't know. We are not talking. Don't think small about these cases. These are cases where the tax due will be in hundreds of crores.
Okay.
This will not be for a tax due of 2,000 rupees. Somebody is going to come and seize the asset and all. Okay. We know what is happening. People escaping from the country for the purpose of not paying loans and not paying taxes. In those cases, what to do? Okay.
சார் அதாவது பர்ச்சேஸ் ஆஃப் அசெட்கே டாக்ஸ் கட்டணுமா? எதுக்கு சார் வந்து அசெட் எடுக்க போறாங்க?
ராஜா,
இன்கம்ல டாக்ஸ் கட்டலனா அசெட் எதுக்கு சார் எடுக்கறாங்க?
இல்லப்பா, ஏற்கனவே இருக்கிற டாக்ஸ் டியூக்கு what will you do? How will you collect the tax? Some taxes are already due, Raja. Some 5 crores is due, and this person has a house, I know. So if I leave that also, where will I get that 5 crores?
ஓகே சார்.
Yeah. There's a popular statement, okay, which I want to say it here also. Okay. Generally in classroom, I teach legal income tax. Okay. Okay. So friends, so at this juncture, if I look back, okay, we have just understood the 4 things of where are we, what are all we are going to study. Act, rules, notifications, and circulars, popular judgments. We have also understood to an extent, who is a person. It's a bigger definition. Income, we are going to discuss about it going on. We understood what is previous year, income earning year, and the year that follows is assessment year. There are some exceptions. Having said all these things, for all of us in the classroom, PY is 1920. It starts from 1/4/2019 and ends on 31/3/2020. And AY is 2021. AY assessment year is 2021. 1920 and 2021. So our financial year is 1/4/2019 to 31/3/2020. Assessment year is 1/4/20 to 31/3/21. I hope the class is clear about these things. More about introduction as the class progresses at various places, we will see introduction. Okay. Go to a fresh page in your theory notebook. Go to a fresh page in your theory notebook. Write the chapter heading. Okay. Chapter 2. Residential status and scope of total income. Chapter 2. Residential status and scope of total income. Residential status and STI, scope of total income. Hence, this chapter is divided into two parts. Residential status is part 1. Scope of total income is part 2. Chapter is divided into two parts, my dear friends. Part 1 is residential status. Part 2 is STI, scope of total income. Residential status. That is the part 1 of our discussion, which is residential status. Part 1 of our discussion, we are looking into residential status. Can I tax Bill Gates? Can the Indian government tax Bill Gates? Na Ramkumar, can the Indian government tax Bill Gates?
If he earns income in India, sir.
If he earns income in India, otherwise can we tax him? He doesn't earn.
No,
Okay? No. Why?
because he's a foreigner.
Because he's a foreigner. Okay. Right? Okay. So I'm taking that answer, extrapolating. I cannot tax Bill Gates. As he said, only persons earning in India can be taxable. I cannot levy tax on the global income of Google. I can only tax for the income earned in India. I cannot, in the sense the Indian government cannot levy tax on the global income earned by Google. We cannot levy tax on the global income earned by Apple. Because he was saying at the fag end of it, they are all foreigners, sir. That's a colloquial term which is right. The other term which legally we call it is they are all non-residents, sir. How will I tax them? They are not earning income in India and they are also. So that's where I am coming to, my dear friends. Between the taxing nation, India, and the taxed persons, Between the taxing nation and the taxed person, there should be link, nexus. There should be nexus. If only nexus is there, I can tax. If no such nexus is there, if such nexus is not there, I cannot levy tax. Repeating. Between the taxing nation and the taxed person, there should be a clear nexus. Nexus means link. If this link is not established, if this link is not there, then you cannot levy tax. You cannot tax that income. So what is that link? This is the chapter which tells you whether the link is there or not, or how to determine the link. This is the chapter which is going to tell you, okay, between the taxing state, that is international terms, taxing state, we have to understand it as country, and the taxed person, there should be nexus, which is nothing but link. Between the taxing state and the taxed person, there should be a nexus, link. If that link is not established, if this link is not available, then you cannot levy tax on such income or such person. This chapter specifies as to how to determine that link. The link can be either with the person or with the income. Okay? The link can be, my dear friends, either with the person earning that income, I can have link, or with the income that he is earning, even though with the person I don't have, but I have link with the income. Either with the person earning the income. He was just now answering us. Sir, I cannot tax him because he does not belong to my country at all. So with the person I don't have a link. So he said, if he is earning income in India, I will tax it. With the income, I will have a link. Suppose let us take the same person as example. Ram Kumar performs a concert outside India. And earns income. Indian government will tax that income because, boss, you're my man. With the person or with the income. The link can be either with the person, that is what is part 1, residential status, or the link can be with the income, that is what is part 2 of this chapter, scope of total income. This chapter is divided into 2, residential status, scope of total income. Residential status, the link between assessee and the person earning the income. Country and assessee. The part 2, scope of total income, country and the income. Okay, so coming back, residential. So this link, okay. So between the taxing state and the taxed person, there should be nexus. The nexus can be with the person or with the income he is earning. First part is residential status, which is with the person we are going to travel.
சார்
Raja.
இதே எடுத்துக்கலாம் சார். வெளியில கான்செப்ட் பண்ணும்போது அந்த country has an excess with the income.
Yeah. Got your point. Got your point? Got your question? Got your question? His question is, sir, when I perform a concert outside India, now there are two links available. One, I am an Indian, so Indian government taxes me. The person who is paying me is I went and performed it in the US concert. Okay, in US every year there is how we conduct the Tyagaraja Aradhana here in Cleveland. They conduct a big festival. Okay, so in Cleveland, the person who is paying that is also taxing. So will I be taxed twice? The question can be answered in a nutshell now, saying no. Government to government, there will be contract so that it can be avoided. That is, double taxation can be avoided. Actually, the question which he answered is the last chapter which we will study in our final. I'm honest to you, the question he answered in the first class is something, a concept which is out of the world concept. Okay, where two countries, how they enter into agreement and all. So, Ramkumar, I'll take care, don't worry. Okay, so coming back, friends, coming back. So, this link is with the person or where we are talking about a residential status. So this is a very popular concept. Here and there you will be listening. He is a non-resident. There is a third category, NRI, non-resident Indian. That's developed concept. But resident, non-resident, how do I determine a residency of a person? Okay. First understand, I will determine residential status for every person. Person we know, individuals, HUF, company, firm, AOP, BOI, local authority, artificial, juristic person. For every person, I will determine residential status. For every type of person, I will determine residential status. Residential status will be determined for every year also. My dear friends, residential status will be determined not only for every person, it will also be determined for every year. Okay, every year. So don't assume that 1 year somebody is a resident, next year also is a resident. Need not be. Need not be. RS has to be determined for every person. RS has to be determined for every year. RS is residential status. Okay, will be determined for every year. Residential status and citizenship by itself are two different concepts. Residential status and citizenship, my dear friends, are two different concepts. Majority of the time or mostly citizenship will be based upon place of birth. If you are born in a place, you are the citizen of that particular place. Many countries have such a rule. Whereas residential status will be on the basis of place of stay. Residential status will be on the basis of place of stay. My dear friends, RS will be okay on the basis of stay, whereas citizenship might be on the basis of. So stay can keep on varying. Stay, that's why we say RS has to be determined for every year. Okay, so Okay, citizenship will be on the basis of, majority of the time, will be on the basis of place of birth, whereas R as residential status will be, so let us forget citizenship. The dynamic concept here is only place of stay and not place of birth. The dynamic concept here is only place of stay, not place of birth. Read through. Section 6, subsection 1, residential status of individuals. Section 6, subsection 1, my dear friends, RS of individuals. For all of us in the classroom, please understand, there are two conditions that is going to be tested for determining RS of individuals. There are two conditions which are going to be tested for determining the RS of individuals, and each condition has two rules. Each condition has two rules. Two conditions needs to be tested. Each condition has two rules. So totally 4 rules are going to be tested to determine the RS of individuals. Two conditions needs to be tested and each condition has two sub rules. Basic condition. Basic condition. He should be in India for a period of 182 days or more during the relevant previous year. He should be in India for 182 days or more during the relevant previous year. He should be in India for 182 days or more during the relevant previous year. What is our previous year, friends? What is our previous year?
Income earning year.
1920.
1920. That's the answer. Okay, income earning year, I understand. Our previous year is 1920. Rumba simple, friends. From 1/4/2019 to 31/3/2020, he should have been here for half of the year or more. Then you are my man. He should be in India for 182 days or more out of the 365 or 366 days. Remember, 2020 is a leap year. Feb will have 29 days. Remember that. Okay. Okay, that's important to remember. Okay, have a marking. Okay, okay, 20 is a leap year, so Feb will have 20. Whenever we are going to say Feb, we are going to do 29. Okay, coming back. He should be in India for 182 days or more during the relevant previous year, as our friend said, during 1920, leave one line. He should be in India for 60 days or more during the relevant previous year and 365 days or more during the 4 years preceding the relevant previous year. Basic condition 2 says he should be in India for 60 days or more during 1920 and 365 days or more in the 4 years preceding 1920. Repeating. Basic condition 1, straightforward and simple. In 1920, he is there for 365 days, 182 days or more. Basic condition 1 is satisfied. Basic condition 2 says, in 1920, that is our previous year, he should be there for 60 days. And in the 4 years preceding 1819, 1718, 1617, 1516, in the 4 years preceding, he should be in India for 365 days or more. Repeating, okay, in the 4 years preceding, that is 1819, 1718, 1617 and 1516, put together he should be there for 365 days. Put together he should be there for 365 days. He should be in India for 60 days or more during the relevant previous year and 365 days or more during the 4 years preceding the relevant previous year. One, if any one condition is satisfied, he becomes a resident. If any one condition is satisfied, he becomes a resident. So what happens? Now I ask you to leave a line, go to the center of the line and write or. Only one condition needs to be satisfied. So if any one condition is satisfied, then he becomes my man, resident. Date of departure and date of arrival will be considered as stay in India. Date of departure and date of arrival will be considered as will be considered as if you were in India. Third, they need not be continuous. It can be discrete. July I was here, again October I came back, again next January I came back. It need not be continuous, but every time you are coming back and leaving, I will also include the place of stay and the purpose. Sorry, every time you come back, I will also include the date of arrival, date of departure. Okay. exception to basic condition 2. The basic condition 2 is he should be in India for 60 days or more during the relevant previous year and 365 days or more during the 4 years preceding the relevant previous year. This is what is basic condition 2, and there are some exceptions, and there are some exceptions to basic condition 2. There are some exceptions, exclusions for basic condition 2, my dear friends. Exceptions to basic condition 2. Exceptions to basic condition 2. Person leaving India for employment with an intention of permanently settling down outside India. Person leaving India for employment with an intention of permanently settling down outside India. Okay, what purpose he should leave? He should leave, persons leaving India for employment purposes. Okay, here the keyword is employment. Okay, persons leaving India for employment with an intention of permanently settling in. Member of a ship crew. Member of a ship crew, persons of Indian origin visiting India. Persons leaving India for employment with an intention of permanently settling down outside India, member of a ship crew, and person of Indian origin visiting India. For these three types of people, the 60 days appearing in basic condition 2 will be substituted with 182 days. For these three types of people, who are all persons leaving India for employment purposes with an intention that permanently they are going to settle outside India, member of a ship crew, and persons of Indian origin visiting India. For these three types of people, the 60 days appearing the 60 days appearing in the basic condition 2 will be substituted with 182 days, will be substituted with 182 days. Interestingly, if it is 182 days, I qualify under 1 itself. Why will I ever come to 2? If it is 182 days, I am coming under basic condition 1. Why will I ever go to basic condition 2? So the law's intention is to nullify basic condition 2 for them. The intention of law is that basic condition 2 is not applicable for them. My dear friends, repeating. The intention of law is I don't want to make basic condition 2 applicable for these people. So, how will I nullify that? Instead of 60, if I substitute it with 182, 182 means that R itself will not come. Here itself it's over. Why will I ever come to the second one? So, technically this means, okay, okay, note, technically this means that basic condition 2 is not applicable for such people. Basic condition 2 is not applicable for such people. That is what I read through once.
Sir, person of Indian origin.
Your voice is not clear. Can you repeat?
Person of Indian origin, Indian citizen.
What is persons of Indian origin? I'll come to that. Our friend is right. Persons of Indian origin means he is an Indian citizen, father, grandfather also. If he is having an origin, the branch, the root is in India. Only it has branched out. The root is in India. That is what is persons of Indian origin. Many people work outside India. They visit India to spend time with their family, etc. So I want to give them a small relief. That is why that I am taking out that 60 days condition for them.
Sir, shipல 7 months non-resident Indian ஆயிடுவோமா?
ராஜா இன்னொரு வாட்டி கேளு.
இல்ல 7 months இருந்தா non-resident Indian ஆயிடுவோமா?
ஷிப்லியா? ஆமாம் ராஜா.
There is no residentship, sir.
There is residentship. I'll come to that. I mean, is it an Indian ship? No. Okay. And man, நிறைய conditions. Ship, whether you know, don't know whether it is in India or not, the territorial waters theory. So don't worry about it. So basic condition 1, 2 and basic condition 2 has some exception. Now I go for additional conditions. Now I go for additional condition. He is a resident in India in at least 2 out of the preceding 10 years. He is a resident. Who is a resident? One who satisfies basic condition. He is a resident in India in at least 2 out of the past 10 years, not the, leave the previous year, preceding 10 years. He is a resident in India in at least 2 out of the preceding 10 years. Leave one line. He is in India for a period of 730 days or more in the 7 years preceding the relevant previous year. He is in India for 730 days or more in the 7 years preceding the relevant previous year. 730 days or more in the 7 years preceding the relevant previous year. 730 amounts to 2 years. So, at least he is in India for 2 years in the past 7 years. rules of determination. Rules of determination. If an individual satisfies any one basic condition and both additional condition, if an individual satisfies any one basic condition and both the additional condition, then he is a, take a different color pen, okay, a resident and ordinary resident, ROR, accepted abbreviation. Okay, then he is a resident and ordinary resident. He is my man. He is there for more than half of the year in the last year, and he is there all throughout in India only. Okay, he is my man, resident and ordinary resident. If an individual satisfies any one basic condition and does not satisfy any one or both additional conditions, then he is a resident but not he is a resident but not ordinary resident. If an individual satisfies one basic condition but he is not satisfying any one or both the additional condition, then he is an RNOR, resident, because he satisfies the basic condition, resident, but not an ordinary resident. The individual does not satisfy the basic condition itself, then he is a non-resident, NR. If an individual does not satisfy the basic condition itself, then he is a NR. Patiently read through.
I have a doubt.
Yeah, go ahead.
So these rules are applicable for the people who come under exception list also.
This is applicable for people
Who come under exception list.
Yeah, 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 yes. Okay, okay, my dear friends. Interestingly, was not from the examination perspective, from the knowledge perspective, you have to understand that normally we use the word play button when it is continuous. We use a pause button when we want to stop a period. Now, stop button is under progress. Interestingly, very interestingly, okay, there was a very big hue cry across the world that now people are unable to move. Suppose a foreigner has come to India, there is all possibility he will become a resident because he is no aircraft, no international flights across the world now. There is a pause button which is going to play, which says the period for which due to lockdown you are not, I am not going to count that period. I'm not going to count that period. A big cry was going on. All of April, people were telling, do it, do it, do it, do it. At last, it reached the finance minister's ears. ரொம்ப சிம்பிளா பண்ணிருக்கலாம். Still, okay. I know in class I don't. Okay, because when Mr. P. Chidambaram was the finance minister, uh, I have my own high regards, no two ways. As a finance minister, I have my own regards for bringing up some policy changes. I also have big criticism. Okay, whenever I criticize, I go all out and criticize. Okay, and I say this is absolutely wrong, thinking itself is wrong, etc., etc., etc. So at that batch, one of the student after the class came up to me and told, sir, your analysis of the provision and analysis of whether it should be brought like this or some other way is extremely fine, sir. We are very happy. But, sir, please be careful. One day, your finance minister's relative, friend, kith and kin are going to come to your class. You will not even know. And you will be speaking like this, criticizing A to Z. That day, please remember, sir, auto will come to your house. Okay. So that is the day I really got enlightened that, oh, so friends, if any of you is a relative, please tell me. I'm a very weak person. Okay. So I will just reduce my criticism. I will try to be soft. That's all I can do. I cannot say zero, but I can try to be soft. Just a minute, keep reading. Give me 2 minutes, I'll join. Yes, friends. Okay. So coming back, two basic conditions, two additional conditions. Okay. Totally four together marks it. The two basic conditions are 182 days or more, 60 plus 365 in 4 years. If even one of the basic condition is satisfied, R is ensured. If basic conditions are not satisfied, not at all R in R. If R is ensured, then I come to additional conditions. Two additional conditions. In the last 10 years, 2 years he should have been a resident. Resident is one who satisfied basic condition. 730 days or more in India. The second additional condition is easy to test. Second additional condition is easy to test. Okay, and once second is satisfied, first will also be normally satisfied. So put together, okay, satisfying both the condition, ROR, not satisfying any one or both the conditions, R and OR, not at all satisfying the basic condition itself. Any doubts? Okay, I am for the for uh, for the material. By Thursday, you will receive the what is the formality with regard to material. Okay, I'm also waiting for Charmia ma'am's aspects. So please wait by Thursday. Till that time, I want you to write down the question. Small things only we are going to do. Write down the question and the solution, or write down the question in a smaller manner. Same thing will form part of the main material also. And for friends, please go to your practical notebook, write the chapter heading residential status and scope of total income. Please write the chapter heading practical solutions. I mean, go to the practical notebook anyhow for you. It is practical notebook. Write the chapter heading residential status and scope of total income. Please write it in the practical notebook. Let theory be for theory, practical notebook for the practical understanding of things. The same material will only come to you. Maybe the page number will change because of small additions, deletions, but the same material will only come to you. Question number 1. A citizen of USA, not at all our concern, has been staying in India since 1997. He leaves India on 16th July 2019 on a visit to USA and returns on 4th January 2020. Determine his residential status for your relevant previous year. Read through the question. A citizen of USA is being here in India from 1997. During your previous year 1920, he leaves India on 16th July to USA and returns on 4th January 2020. Determine his residential status for your relevant previous year. So in your notebook, please write it. Day of departure 16th July 19, date of arrival 4th January 2020. This part of the material I will post it in the group also for your ease of reference. Determination of residential status for the financial year 1920. For the financial year 1920, determination of residential status for the financial year 1920. Okay. Number of days of stay in India. Number of days of stay in India. Okay. Okay. Deepti, can you unmute?
Yes, sir.
April, was he here?
No, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He was here.
Yeah. 30 plus. May, was he here?
Yes.
June, was he here?
Yes, sir.
On July, which date he left?
July 16th. Till July 15th, he was here.
No, till July 16th. Date of departure, date of arrival should be counted. Date of departure should be counted. So July 16th.
Okay, sir.
August he was not here, right?
Sir?
August he was not here, correct? Huh?
Yes, sir.
September,
No.
October,
No.
November,
No.
December also no. On
Mm.
January 4th he comes. On January 4th he comes. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
So we should leave the first 3 days. Fourth should be
Mm.
counted. So 31 minus 3 makes it 28. 28 days in January. 28 days in January, because first 3 days only should be excluded, fourth should be included. Feb, March. Stay on, stay on. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Friends, number of days in India: April 30, May 31, June 30, July 16. After that, up to December, nothing. January 28, Feb 29, and March 31 days. Okay, April plus May plus June plus July plus January plus Feb plus March. Number of days in India: 195 days. 195 days. 195 days. Diti, is he satisfying the first basic condition?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
182 days. More
Yeah.
than 182
He is
days.
satisfying. Let us go to additional conditions, Diti. Two
Yes, sir.
out of the past 10 years, he should be in India. He is living here in India from 1997. 2 out of the past 10 years, he should be in India. Is he satisfying that?
Yes.
He should be in India for 730 days or more in the 7 years preceding 1920. Is he satisfying that?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Because from 1997, okay. Friends, as our friend is telling, he satisfies the first basic condition, also satisfies the additional condition. So he is a ROR. He is my man, resident and ordinary resident. He satisfies the first basic condition and also satisfies both the additional conditions. Hence, he is a resident and ordinary resident. Hence, he is a resident and ordinary resident. He satisfies the first basic condition. He is also satisfying the additional conditions. Hence, he is a ROR, resident and ordinary resident. Anybody having a doubt, please ask. Okay. 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 For some purposes, I want you to understand, I'm going and doing question number 10. Question number 10, my dear friends. Question number 10. Martin came to India from America for the first time on 3/10/2018. The date is correct. 3/10/2018. He's returned back after staying in India up to 28/9/2019. Determine his residential status for 2 financial years, 1819, 1920. Assessment year 1920, 2021, which means financial year 1819 and 1920. He came into India on 3/10/2018. That year ends on 31/3/2019, and from 1/4/2019 next year begins, and he leaves on 28th September 2019. Determine his RS for the years, for the financial years 1819 and 1920. Nothing but assessment years 2021. Yeah, start trying. Start trying. Sorry, I missed the question. Take your time to complete the answer. After completing, give me the answer, Siana, after completing.
Sir,
Yeah, go ahead.
so the for financial year 2018-19, he is not resident.
Okay, NR. And if 1920,
He is resident.
is it ROR or RNOR?
RNOR.
Okay. The two answers our friend gave us is NR and RNOR. If you have a different answer, please let me know, my dear.
Sir, I'm getting different answers, sir.
Yeah, what is the different answer you are getting, Jafet?
Sir, I'm getting only 181 days, sir.
What is the answer? Can you give me the answer?
Both I'm getting NR
Sir,
only,
both
sir.
answers, sir.
Both are you are getting NR.
NR.
Please mute yourself. Of period of stay in 1819. Period of stay in 1819. He comes to India on 3/10/2018. So in October 29 days, November 30, December 31, January 31, Feb 28, and March 31. Okay, my dear friends, 29 plus 30, that is November, December, Jan, Feb, this is Feb 2019, so 28 days, and March. Okay, okay, 180 days in the financial year 1819. 180 days in the financial year 1819. Please understand, he does not satisfy both additional conditions because that's the first time he came in. Hence, he is a non-resident. Period of stay in 1920. April plus May plus June plus July plus August plus September 28 plus September 28. Repeating, April plus May plus June plus July plus August plus 28 days of September, 181. It does not satisfy basic condition 1. Basic condition 2, part 60, okay, 365 is not satisfying. So again, it does not satisfy both the, sorry, I'm sorry here. He does not satisfy the basic condition. Hence, he is a NC is a non-resident. NC is a non-resident. My dear friends, in the second year also, if you look at it, he has only stayed for 181 days. So he has not satisfied the basic condition. Hence he is a non-resident. Okay. Okay. So this question should give you two knowledge which are very important. One, if there is a cut-off date, that is 31st of March in between. Remember, my dear friends, if there is a cut-off date, that is 31st March, the year ends, from 1st April, fresh calculation begins. So if there is a 31st March in between, please compute for two different years. Date of arrival to 31st March, and then from 1st April to the date of departure, separate calculation. So if there is a cut-off date, let us be very careful storing it in our mind that we will have 2 years. We cannot do it consecutively. This is the important lesson you learned. Second important lesson is for your practical world. Tomorrow your friends, your relatives, or anyone ask you, boss, who is there outside India, who comes and asks you that I want to come and stay in India for a longer time, maybe close to 1 year also, but I don't want to become a resident. You have to advise them, come on 3rd of October, leave on subsequent year 28th of September. You would have almost stayed for 1 full year, spread over 2 financial years. You would have almost stayed for 1 full year, but you would not have become a resident at all. If you become a resident, as our friend was initially saying, even the foreign income will become taxable. So, if the person doesn't want to become a resident, ask them to come on 3rd of October. If it is not a leap year, then 2nd of October is also fine, but generally 3rd of October, and ask them to leave on 28th of September. They would have stayed for 1 full year and they would not have become a resident at all. Remember, if you are giving this suggestion to your friends or relatives, you should pay me my professional fees, okay? Not classroom fees, okay? Right? So this is how it applies there. You stayed here for a longer period. So this is how it needs to be computed when there is a cutoff. I am reading question number 2. Rajagopal, who resides in Jaipur since birth, went to Germany for employment purposes. My dear friends, went to Germany for employment purposes. This is the key terminology here, employment purposes. Why is this key terminology? Because the second basic condition is not applicable for them. For assessees leaving for employment purposes, permanently settling, there is no second basic condition. 182 days only is applicable. So, went to Germany for employment purposes on 15th August 2019. Determine is RS for AY 2021. Will your answer change if it is a leisure trip? Obviously, it will change because second condition will be applicable. Repeating, in your notebook, you have to write, left India on 15th August 2019. left India on 15th August 2019? A. What will be the RS if it is employment purpose? B. What will be the RS if it is a leisure trip? What will be the RS if it is employment purpose? And what will be the RS if it is leisure trip? Period of stay in India for the financial year 1920, April, May, June, July, and August up to 15, so 137 days. April 30, May 31, June 30, July 31, and August 15 days. So totally period of stay in India in the financial year 1920 is 137 days. If for the purpose of employment, if he is going to go there for the purpose of employment, if he is going to go there for the purpose of employment, he does not satisfy first basic condition, and second basic condition is not applicable. Hence, he is a non-resident. Okay? If he is going it for the purpose of employment, what happens is 182 days is not there. He does not satisfy the first basic condition. The second basic condition is not applicable for him. Because second basic condition is only for, okay, right? They have the exception, non-employment purpose only. So he is a non-resident.
சார் அப்ப 29th செப்டம்பர் போயிருந்தா அவன் ரெசிடென்டா சார்?
ஆமாம்பா, ஆமாம். If it is a leisure trip, then what happens? He does not satisfy first basic condition, but satisfies the second. He is also satisfying both additional conditions, because from birth he is only in India. Hence he is a, okay, hence he is a resident and ordinary resident. Hence he is a ROR, resident and ordinary resident.
Sir,
Raja.
Sir, his permanent intention of settling in Germany is not given, sir.
If he is going for the purpose of employment, it is assumed. Permanently means not for lifelong. Okay? That he is not going to return for some period of time. That is what it is.
Okay, sir.
Question number 5. Interesting question, my dear friends. Matthew Hayden comes to India every year for 100 days. Determine his residential status. Will your answer change if it is 110 days instead of 100 days? What is his RS if it is 100 days? What will be his RS if it is 110 days? Two answers you have to give. Your time starts now.
Sir, in first one, he is a resident. And second one, he is a resident, but not ordinary resident.
In the first one, he is a ROR. Second one, RNOR. That's what you are saying.
No, sir. In first one is only resident. RNO. Sorry, sir. RNOR.
In first one, RNOR. In second one?
Yes. Same, sir.
RNOR are your answers.
Yes, sir.
The second one,
and then ROR.
Yes, sir.
Any other answers? If he stays for 100 days, we all know that 60 is satisfied, 365, that is in 4 years it would have become 400. In that year, in 1920, more than 60, in the past 4 years more. So he will satisfy the second basic condition. In both the cases, he will satisfy the second basic condition. But in case 1, he will not satisfy the second additional condition. Okay. So he satisfies second basic condition. When it comes to additional condition, my dear friends, 100 days into 7 years makes it just 700 days. We want it as 730 days or more. So additional condition 2 not satisfied. Okay, the conclusion is hence he is a resident and not ordinary resident. RNOR. The conclusion is hence he is a RNOR. Remember, he satisfies the second basic condition, accepted. With regard to additional condition, 730 days, but he is only there for 700 days. So additional condition 2 is not satisfied. Hence he is a resident and not ordinary resident. Now, if he stays for 110 days, again he satisfies the second basic condition, 60 plus 365. Additional condition, if you look at it, 110 into 7 will become 770 days. So satisfies both additional conditions. Hence he is a resident and ordinary resident. Hence he is a resident and ordinary resident. Please look through and let me know if you don't understand. Anybody not understanding? Darshit, do you understand, Darshit?
Sir, I made mistake in first condition. That is.
No problem, Daraja. After all, we are learning. Don't even worry about wrong answer. Okay, I can give you 2 things, friends. If you are answering everything correctly, you don't need classroom. And I am making a mistake of doing easy questions only. Only if you do a mistake and rectify, not only, but generally I'm saying, if you do a mistake and rectify, it will stand with you for life. You will not again commit it. So don't even worry about if you have done a mistake. I have not jumped from sky. Okay, there will be 100 times I would have done these mistakes and got rectified and then did it. So never even feel bad for doing a mistake. Okay, it is only a proud opportunity to learn from the mistake. So don't.
Sir, I did not understand the second case.
Yeah, I can make you clear. Do you understand? Who is this?
Jagrati.
Jagrati, do you understand that he satisfies second basic condition?
Yeah. I do not understand the additional thing.
Condition. Okay. 110 days every year. So 7 years makes it 770 days. Am I correct?
Yeah, and the first condition.
That is first additional condition. 2 out of every year he is coming here for 110 days. If in 1920 he is a resident, he has satisfied the basic condition. In 1819 also he will. In 1718 also he will. In 16, because every year if you go back, 60 plus 365 will keep on tallying. So first the basic condition, additional condition, obviously you will satisfy, don't worry.
So, sir, is it like that suppose in the 10 previous year, the first condition says that he should be there for 2 years
Just 2
in the
years.
previous 10 years. So that 2 years need not be like continuously,
No,
like 1 year.
no, any 2 years. Any 2 years.
Okay, sir.
Patience. Question number 3. Satish, a citizen, left India on 6/6/2010 for employment abroad. He does not come into India up to 1617. In 1718 and 1819, he came for 145 and 195 days respectively. In 1920, he came on 7th April and left on 30th November. Determine RS for 1920. Repeating, left India on 6/6/2010. Till 1617, he never came to India. 1718 and 1819, 145 and 195 days respectively. 1920, he came back on 7th April and left only on 30th November 2019. Go ahead, start doing.
Sir, R and OR, sir.
R and OR. Let's wait.
R and O are, sir.
I'll take those answers.
R and O's.
It will be 7th April, April 24, May 31, June 30, July 31, August 31, September 30, October 31, and November 30. Period of stay in 1920, repeating my dear friends, April 24, May 31, June 30, July 31, August 31, September 30, October 31, and November 30. So totally 238 days in 1920. Okay, satisfies first basic condition. That leads me to additional condition. 2 years of 145 plus 195 only in the past 7 years. Easiest additional condition to set. Okay. It does not satisfy both, but it does not satisfy second additional condition. Hence is a RN or resident but not ordinary resident. Resident but not ordinary resident. I am not reading the Gilchrist question. You are reading and doing. I am not reading it. You are reading and doing. I think it is visible to you clearly. Question number 4. Take your time.
Sir, ROR.
Sir, RNOR, sir.
RNOR.
So 1920 is in ROR, sir.
ROR. 1920 only I got. ROR.
ROR.
சார் எனக்கு என்ஆர்னு வருது சார்.
Okay, all the three answers now I have. ROR, RNOR, NR. Okay.
NR, sir. Non-resident.
Okay. Our good friend Deepthi texted me on Sunday saying that it would have been very nice had we been in the classroom. Yeah. Okay. The one aspect which I always try to do is to ensure that I keep churning your ears whenever you do a mistake and writing in your notebook also that there is a small lack of thinking. Okay, for all those who answered ROR, RNOR, you are wrong because you have gone back beyond 4 years. You should go back only 4 years. You cannot. We made a calculation. What are all the years we should go back? We made a calculation on what are all the 4 years we need to go back. 15, 16, 16, 17, 17, 18 and 18, 19. If you have gone for 12, 13, 13, 14 and all, okay, just there will be a wall next to you to your home, bang yourself saying, okay, right, okay, fine, no, nothing wrong, okay. Leave alone the attitude and all, but I'm a very big fan of this cricket player. First, let me look at period of stay in 1920. Okay, so up to 31/8 he was here. So April he was here, May he was here, June he was here, July he was here, August he was here, 153 days. So period of stay in 1920, 153, 182 not satisfied, 182 not satisfied, only 153 days. Okay, let me go for 60 plus 365. So 4 preceding years. Now first starting with 1819. 1819 from 1/7/2018. So what happens? July, August, September, October, November, December, Jan, Feb, and March. 274 days in 1819, Gilchrist was in India. 1718, 1718, Not at all in India. Not at all in India in 1718. 1617, that is 1/4/2016 to 31/3/2000. 1/11/16 to 31/12. So in November 30 days plus December 31 days. 1516. 1516. Not at all in India. Not at all in India. So friends, sorry. So friends, total days in past 4 years, okay, is only 335. Is only 335. Not satisfying the second condition also. Second basic condition. Second basic condition 60 plus 365. 365 is not there, 335. Okay, so he does not satisfy. He does not satisfy any of the basic condition. Neither the first one of 182, because 153 only there. Then 60 plus 365. 60 part A is satisfied. Part B is not. So he does not satisfy any of the basic condition. He is a non-resident. He is a non-resident. Stay on.